Hello, everyone. This is Michael Prestwich. I'm president and founder of ImagiSOFT. Thank you very much for coming to our Social Security webinar today. We're also going to be recording this, so if you want to review this, it'll be in this section of the screen up here in the upper left-hand corner where we currently say Join the Webinar. We've had a couple of questions. Mike McGovern has made some phone calls, and he has said, what questions do you have about Social Security? We have 4 of those. Feel free to type them into the chat box. If you want to ask them directly, you can say that in the chat box. We can unmute your mic, and then you can call it. But in the invitation, I said, what is Social Security? Well, the first thing it is, it's a great door opener to get new customers. At the bottom of the invitation, I gave you one of those, and that is just meeting somebody. I talked to somebody in Costco once. I wanted to test some of this. As some of you know, I'm a licensed insurance agent. I sell, 5 or 6 people a year. It's not like it's my number one job. My number one job is to help you develop better tools for your business. And so here's the one that's at the bottom of the invitation. Social Security rules have changed recently. Do you know what you must do to receive the highest paycheck from Social Security? And they'll go, I don't know, probably. If you could receive an extra $100 per month for life, would you invest an hour of your time to find out how to do it? Well, that's about what it takes. It's about an hour to work through everything in the Social Security system and speak to your customer, make a presentation, and so forth. Another door opener. I asked this to an engineer that works at Sandia Labs here in Albuquerque, and he was complaining about Social Security, how much they take out of his paycheck. And he was getting fairly close to retirement. I asked him this question. You have paid into Social Security for 40 or more years. Don't you think you should get the maximum amount of money out of it? Now, I never sold this guy, but I did explain to him, how he could get the most money out of it for he and his wife, who is a school teacher. And so one of the things I like about the Social Security software is it gives you the opportunity to speak to people about real-life problems and situations. Now, if you go to our website, this is our main site here, you can see that Wayne, he gave us a Trustpilot review, 5 stars. He said, this software is great for analyzing Social Security strategies. Well, it's good for that, but it's also good just to start conversations. If you go to here's the list of our calculators, and you can click this link to get to the Social Security, or you can also go to the top and click the Social Security calculator here. It builds trust relationships. Now, how does it do that? Well, reading this paragraph here, you gain credibility. If you can teach something to somebody that they didn't know about, you instantly get credibility. And a lot of times people say, why didn't my CPA tell me that? One of the early adopters of this calculator, it was about 2 years ago, it was a gal in Boston, and I forget her name, but she was with Merrill Lynch, and she was trying to get in to see this couple that is very highly placed. They both had jobs making, $300,000 to $500,000 per year, and they, at the time, you had to file a suspend strategy, and the spouse could take the income before the client was taking his Social Security income. So she said to them, both you and your wife are over age 66. Which one of you is taking your spousal benefit? They didn't know they could take their spousal benefit. You could back then. Now you have to be receiving an income to get a spousal benefit. That's one of the changes that they made recently in Social Security, but back then. And it was costing them about $1,600 a month not to be taking that Social Security benefit, even though they are both still working. Why didn't my CPA tell me this? Why didn't my financial advisor tell me this? Well, if you can get in the door with something that their financial advisor is currently not doing, then you can take business away from someone else. And so gain credibility. And the other thing that you do to build trust relationships, as you can see just right here on the screen, you speak with Social Security about the same concepts as you would any other retirement discussion. When do you want to retire? What's your life expectancy? Are you worried about outliving your money? What's going to happen to the survivor after you die? What's your risk tolerance? Those are the kinds of questions that you want to ask in any retirement situation. So if you're just speaking about Social Security, these questions come up. So the first thing you do is you look at their Social Security statement. Now, if you want to click this link right here, you will get that. I'll show you what that statement looks like. Okay, here's the Social Security statement that downloads when you click that link. And I would recommend that you download that link and keep it around and just show it as an example. You go to ssa.gov. If you have not done this yourself, go to ssa.gov, get into your account, and so that you know the process of how to get in, look at your own statement, follow it. You can also file for your Social Security just by doing it from the website. But this is the information that you put in when you into our software. So our software asks, what's the age 62 number? Well, there's that number. Here is, in this person's case, age 67 number for their full retirement age, and age 70, $2,000 a month. We need that information put into the software. And so our software is real easy to learn and use. Most of you have already used it. In fact, I've got one person, this is a question that they asked, a guy named Bryce Gibb of Farm Bureau in Rigby, Idaho. He says, we need to put greater accent on Social Security as we help our clients plan their future. What is the best way to get it incorporated into our sales? We don't use it now. My goal is to answer that question so that you can start using this and using the foundation of your client's retirement plan, which is Social Security, and build on that. So here, we're back to the Social Security screen. Here is the login screen that I was talking about right here. So you want to click that little login, and then the login name is your email address. And then we give you the password 123456. You should immediately change that because everybody gets the same password. And as you can see, I have a different password than that. Well, I typed it in wrong. Well, I don't know why I didn't get that, but we'll just skip that for now. Put in the person's name, their date of birth, what their life expectancy is, and the three numbers that you got from the statement. So here's the three numbers you put in, the age 62 number, the age 67 number, 66 number, and then the age 70 number. And then this is what the report looks like. So to answer that question, how do you use it? Well, the name of this report is when do you claim your Social Security retirement benefits? And so when you claim can make a huge difference. And so this is a number that you should point to. It can make an additional $200,000 difference depending on when you claim your benefit and how long your life expectancy is. This is the question that's one of the most important ones. I'll change the color of my pen to blue. Is how long do you expect to live? And that depends on some of it is genetic. One of the good questions to ask is how long did your mother live? How long did your father live? Do you have some longevity in your system? Do you smoke? Do you drink a lot? You know, just the questions that will, what's your weight? And ask them if they have health problems. Diabetes, something like that will lower someone's life expectancy. And so the average life expectancy in this guy's case is how old is this guy? 64 and 5 months is how old he is age 82 to 85. So I put in age 85 for his life expectancy, and I added to hers. Hers would be more like 87, but some people will live longer than that. And so here is one of the calculations that it comes up with. And so a lot of people take just this graph right here, and you can show that like on your phone as a door opener. And I said, okay, let's talk about Social Security just briefly. If this were you, which one of these numbers or which one of these lines would you rather have? Would you rather have the green one or would you rather have the blue one? Well, unfortunately, most people, they go after the blue one. What is the blue line? The blue line is start as soon as possible. And in other words, Wanda's going to start when she's 62. Fred is going to start right now. So he's just going to go ahead and claim the Social Security at age 64 and 4 months, and so he'll get that. Now, there's about 10,000 possibilities. We don't show that, or we don't try and calculate the best one. The best is what they think is the best, not what you think is the best. One of the questions that came up, and I'll read that from a Northwestern Mutual agent. He said, this guy is in Medford, Oregon with Northwestern Mutual. He said, given the decision when to start Social Security is personal, will this calculator help me convince people to wait longer? Well, it may or it may not. It just depends on how that person sees the world. Not everybody is going to want to wait till age 70 to start here. But you have the 10,000 possibilities, they all fall right in here. Typically, the longer you wait, the more you're going to get if you live that long. If you die right in here, which is age 80 or 84, somewhere in there, it really doesn't matter when you start. What Social Security does is it opens up a discussion of when you want to start. So, for example, this would be a real good question to ask. After they have explained, here's starting now, here's starting at your normal retirement age, both of you, and here's starting at age 66 for Wanda and 70 for Fred. Those are the 3 options. And if you look at the ledger at the bottom, it tells you Fred starts with Social Security, then Wanda picks in, and then when Fred dies, there is a death benefit. So you can either do it on this page or on this page. Let's say everybody wants to start early. Let's get the money as soon as possible. Well, Wanda, let me ask you a question. When Fred passes away, would you want to have $28,000 coming in, or would you rather have close to $40,000 coming in? One of the things that people miss about Social Security is that they don't look far enough ahead. I mean, if you look at the Social Security here, and they get $43,000 a year, which is basically tax-free, and if they're picking up another $1,000 or $2,000 from their retirement fund, they got $5,000 a month, mostly tax-free, and everything is hunky-dory. Everything is great. And they think, yeah, let's get to Winnebago and let's go. We're in good health. Let's go see America and so forth. What they forget about is inflation. Now, Social Security builds into it the cost of living. Unfortunately, the government has learned a way to fudge that cost of living. One of the questions, I got this question from Kurt Hogan. He lives in Utah. He says, what is the COLA increase in Social Security? Is it compounded monthly? And how much is anticipated for 2017? So the answer to that one is it's on the Social Security website. I'll switch to that. So here's the SSA.gov, and they have millions of pages on here. And if you do a search in Google or some other place, cost of living adjustment, Social Security 2017, I found this page. And so here is the increase, 0.3% in 2017. So in January 2017, let's say you have a client that is getting a Social Security check of $1,000 a month. How much is their increase on 0.3%? Well, if it was 100, if it was 3%, it would be $30. Well, it's 0.3%. It's $3. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I think prices have increased by more than 0.3%. On one side of their mouth, they say that the benefits increase and by 0.3%, and then you'll see that the amount taxable, the ceiling for the taxes, raised by about 4% to $127,000. So 4% increase in the tax, 0.3% increase in the benefits. Unfortunately, Social Security is kind of a political football, and they're trying to reduce the cost any way they can. So that gives you another discussion point in preparing for things such as inflation and preparing for the contingencies in the future. Another one of the questions that you could ask as a door opener is, we just got elected Donald Trump as a new president. What do you think he's going to do with Social Security? Do you think he and the Republican Congress may modify or reduce those benefits? Well, I would think about half of the people in the country would think, yes, he might do that. It doesn't matter if it's Republican or Democrat or anybody else. Somebody's going to play with those numbers, or at least has the potential to do that. And if you want to back that up with fact, all you have to do is just look at the Social Security statement. Yes, Mike McGovern, you have a question?
Okay. The question here is from Abel Wansa. He wants to know what CPI is used exactly and what expenses are they excluding in that? Energy and health costs? Okay.
I don't know. They changed it just this last year. They were excluding food, housing, and energy. So that's what they excluded. Now I don't even know what they're doing, but they're applying a crazy factor. I think you could probably go on this site right here and read more about that adjustment right there and click that link and find out exactly what the figure is. The main point is that it's a political situation. It's not a guarantee. Most of the people that are attending this webinar have products that you can lock in a guaranteed lifetime income. And so that is an extra thing to say, is, you know, I have the guarantee. So let's look at the problem here. Here's the problem. The problem is that when Fred passes away, the income reduces at this point. And so from up here, while Fred's alive and while his pension is going fine and everything like that, they are in pretty good shape. And then what starts happening when you're in your 80s? My dad is 85, my mother's 82. My mom has heart problems. My dad has had a problem with his hip, and he's kind of hobbling around. They're both still doing pretty well, but then you start having health issues out here. In New Mexico, it costs $4,000 a month to get into a nursing home. So you could start asking people, have you ever thought about these older ages? Have you ever known of a elderly lady that's living just barely on Social Security? Chances are this is why, is because the higher wage earner, in this case it's Fred, took the Social Security too early. So She could be getting $39,000 or $40,000. She's getting $28,000 if he would have waited till 70. That obviously means that up here in these ages where we want to take our money as soon as we possibly can, we didn't take it. We had to wait 6 more years. Well, if they've got money, you could fill this gap by selling him an immediate annuity. A 6-year payout immediate annuity would be a very, very simple way to do it. It'd probably cost, $200,000 to do that. If they don't want to spend the $200,000, well, they could continue it in the stock market or whatever and make withdrawals from that. It wouldn't be guaranteed that they'd have it. But the longer you can get it away, the better off they're going to be. Most people that I have talked to just don't want to wait. So what is the alternative to that? The alternative to that is that if you think you can afford the difference between this and this when you're older, that's $12,000 a year. If that $12,000 a year doesn't seem to be a problem in the future, it probably doesn't need to be that much of a problem now. So if you really believe that you can afford $12,000 a year, let's put the $12,000 a year into a life insurance policy. And you've seen, if you went to my other webinars, you saw how we used life insurance so that when Fred passes away, a couple $100,000 can come in, and that will fill this gap right here. It also can be used for long-term care if this thing happens, the $4,000 monthly. So to answer a couple of the questions that you all might have, how do you use this software to integrate it into your sales? This is the main page right here. Which one of these looks the most, and just listen, where do they want to go? Well, gosh, I don't know that I can wait till 70. I just can't wait. Well, you're going to be maybe more like this right here. Can you wait till you're 66? Yeah, I can probably do that. Well, yours is going to look more like that, and when you pass away, she'll have $31,000. So, talk about life insurance. Talk about putting some money away into a annuity product that maybe has a 10-year kicks in 10 years later, so that the income starts. If they're going to start their Social Security here when he's 66, down here at age 76, something that's a joint lifetime income that'll help cover this problem that she's going to have and they're both going to have as inflation eats them away. Okay, let's see what the next question on the agenda was here.
Better ask them if they want any questions.
Yeah. If anybody has any questions, please put them in the public chat here. All right, now Roland, and I don't know how to say his last name, was Zoniak of Dallas, Texas. He said, when will the full age of 66.5 come into effect, and will ImagiSOFT software be updated to calculate this? Well, it's already in there. As you can see with Wanda, her that age 66 is right here. Her normal retirement age is 66 and 4 months. So it already knows about the people that are going to have 66 and 4 months, 66 and 6 months. Starting, if their birth date's in 1960, then this turns into age 67. If they're born in 1960 or later. So we've already got that built into the software. Another thing the software will do is calculate if it's better to take the spousal retirement or their own retirement. And you learn to see what happened down there when you see it down here. It says she begins her annual retirement. If this was better for her to take her spousal retirement, this would have the word spousal here.
I have a question.
Okay.
Mike?
Okay, so I see the one from Dale Dix here. Are you suggesting that we use the difference to sell a life policy to make up the difference as an option? I would say always talk about life insurance if you're licensed to sell life insurance. I would bring up life insurance to anybody, no matter what their age, for a number of reasons. If you can buy a life insurance policy, that they're going to go through a large mortality test. They're going to be underwritten, and you're going to have the experts for underwriting. Wouldn't you like to know, Fred, if you're on which side of the mortality or the average is? The average age for somebody your age is age 82. That means half are going to die on this side of 82, the other half are going to die on this side of 82. Would you like to know which side you're on? If we submit a life insurance policy and they turn you down, then you're on this side of the life insurance policy. If they give you a preferred rate, you're on this side of the longevity side of it. They'll give you a pretty good indication. Obviously, there's a lot of variables. There's fate. There's car accidents. Anybody can pick up cancer just, willy-nilly from nowhere. But they typically can figure out which side you're going to be on. And so we said he's at age 85, but he could be age 90 just as easy if he's on this side of the mortality. So life insurance is the one insurance that your family's going to benefit from. You know you're going to use it. Nobody's going to live forever. So unlike car insurance, you hope you never ever have to use it. It's just there to back you up and give you peace of mind. The life insurance is something that you're always going to use. And if you look at the premiums paid in versus the death benefits paid out, and if you look at it being tax-free, most policies are excellent. And you end up with about a 4%, if you live a long time, 4% after-tax return on your life insurance premiums. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, the next page is just important information, and you can read that. It's kind of the disclaimer part of it, and I think I showed you how to use the graphs. So I think that covers everything that I've got on the use of the software. It's pretty easy to use. And people understand they understand how it works. It's just pretty easy. So let's go back to the Social Security calculator. There's a couple of videos that we have here. We have the How to Build Trust Relationships. That's that 3-minute video that I'm pointing to here. You can get this printout just by clicking that link, and you can see this is the exact same printout that I just showed you on the screen. So you can get the sample printout just by clicking that married link, and there it is right there. And you can get the Social Security statement that I showed you earlier and show them what a sample Social Security statement looks like and how they would get to it. They log into ssa.gov and they'll have the statement right there, and it's updated at least once a year. It's web-based, so if you can remember your password, you log in and go there. And if you forget it, I could have clicked this, and then Mike McGovern would have gotten a email, and he would have reset that to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and within a very short period of time, I could have gotten back in. It's always your email address and whatever password you put in, and then you can change that password once you get in. Any other questions?
Yeah, can I ask questions?
Sure.
Okay, go back into your email where you're going to register there and register in again with your login name, your email address. What you forgot was to put a T in there in Prestwich. Try it now.
There you go. See, it was easy. You just got to know how to spell your own name. So,
Emil wants it at that.
well, Emil, thank you very much for that information. I'm glad you were watching me there. It kind of was an embarrassing moment. The way you change your password is you go up to this little link right here that says Edit My Information. And this is where you'll want to put your company name and so that they can reach you. And then you'll have your login, and this is where you put in your passwords right here, and then you press Next, and everything will be good. And then the Social Security calculator is right here. It'll save the last client you put in. So I typed in Wanda Worker. I made her male. It doesn't really matter. It's not on the well. It'll change the word from his to her on the printout, so it's best to make her a female. Put in her date of birth. It'll calculate the age, and you can give her this age at death, 93. If we change those ages of death, you'll see that the graph changes. And so when's the best time to take your Social Security? Well, if you know when you're going to die, then you'll know exactly when it is. But we don't know when we're going to die. It's like Jack Reacher says, you know, he hopes for the best and plan for the worst. Well, in this case, the best and the worst are the very same thing. We want to live till we're 100, and we want to live in health and happiness till we're age 100. So I usually show one person, especially if it's the wife and she's younger, as having a longer life expectancy, and then the husband, a normal life expectancy plus 1 or 2. And you can show multiple illustrations based on that. And you get the married when you click this pull-down menu to married. So make that, and then you put in him. And this is where you put in the Social Security benefits. Now, this calculator assumes that they're not taking Social Security yet. So if they're already collecting Social Security, you basically just have to ask them what their numbers are, and there's not much they can do about changing those or increasing those. Here's where you can put in the cost of living adjustment. You can put in 1, 2, 3. I usually show it at 0 because that's typically what it's been lately. And it is also the easiest to understand because it doesn't change. And then here's something that you can do if you're an advanced user. I don't know if you're an advanced user or not, but you can take these numbers and just highlight them with your mouse, and then you can right-click, copy, and then you can go into Excel, and then just in the upper left-hand corner, put paste, and all these numbers will be in Excel. And so you can keep the year, the client age, the spouse age, and then decide which one of these income things you want to show, and then you can use your Excel to show other income that's coming in, a pension plan or whatever. So that's what advanced planners do, and they use our software depending on which one of these columns makes the most sense. And then the graph, here's the graph, and if you right-click, you can save that image and put it on your phone and carry it around in your photos right next to the picture of your grandkids. And as you're talking about your grandkids, you can switch to this and go, oh, by the way, I got the Social Security thing. And I got the Social Security planning software. And I showed this person how to get $200,000 more out of their Social Security. Would you be interested in talking about that? And then the last thing, of course, is the preview. And so you just press the view. It calculates. It builds a PDF. And here's your PDF. And you can then print. I just right-clicked, print. I'm in Chrome. Other ones work differently, but they all have the ability to print and to save. And so you can save this PDF, save as, and then save it, and then email it to your customer or keep it in your records, your files, whatever you want to do. Okay. Well, thank you, Emil, for showing me how to use the software here. And then you press finish when you're done, and that will store the last person on your computer. It's not stored on our servers. It's just stored on your computer so that you'll have the last one available there. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you all for coming. Okay, Mike?
I have a question here from Jan Bennett in Des Moines, Iowa. She wants to know why that most agents, when they sell Social Security or present it, they don't present it with a stronger accent that if you take it at 62, you're taking less money overall. And she feels like that a lot of women get confused with the fact of they have on one side we can get more money, but on the other side we're getting immediate money. And she would like to know why that happens, if there's a reason for that.
I don't know why people are like that. Most people are short-sighted. They just don't want to do it. And the blue line is 62. So you get the money early, but as you can see, that number is flat and it lays down there. If there's a single person and you do that, those lines are completely straight if you use zero inflation, and you can see exactly where the crossover point is. And so you can answer that by saying, well, a lot of people feel the same way you do. Are you going to continue to work after age 62 when you take your Social Security? Well, the printout will tell you that if you make more than, I think it's 14,000, it has the right number, the exact number. If you make more money than that, then you're going to start losing some of your Social Security. So one of the things you need to do if you're going to work is you wait till your full retirement age. In this case, it's 66. That's the minimum you should do. But if you expect to live for a long time, you can't see this one, can you? I'm glad you told me that. I'll switch to it. Okay, you can see it now, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the blue line is your age 62. The green line is going to be your age 70. And how long do you expect to live? If you're a woman, you outlive men. So the women are the most vulnerable for this insurance called Social Security. And the longer the highest wage earner waits to collect, the more that woman is protected, the more safety we have. Women are the most vulnerable out there in the older ages. My grandfather, when he was 85, he was still driving. I mean, he was in great health. And I was asking him, and my grandmother had passed away, and I asked him, Grandpa, now that you're single, what's happening? He says, Mike, it's terrible. You know how many women are out there? I've got like 10 women after me right now. You know, because they're all looking for companionship. All their husbands have died. And he was one of the few people still left at that age. There was like 10 women for every man when you're age 85. And that's just the way it is. Women outlive us men, typically. So Social Security should protect the spouse. Life insurance will protect the spouse. Annuities can help protect the wealth that they've accumulated and keep it safe. So,
I have a question from Bruce Spencer. How long is our client info retained?
It's only retained for that one client. We're not saving it on the server. That's an update that will probably happen in 2017. We'll give you the opportunity to save and retrieve the ones you've saved and give you a list of all the ones that are on there. But for now, it's just saved in a cookie on your computer, and I think cookies usually expire after 90 days. So in 90 days, there won't be anything there, but, it's just on your computer, just like I showed you. It'll pre-fill your screen with your last one. And most people don't find that a big limitation, because you typically have to enter in a lot of the information again anyway if you're going to do it later, because Social Security changes every month. If you wait a month, it's going to be different. If you wait a year, you'll need to re-show these values.
Mike?
Yes.
Have another question from Bruce Spencer. It says, how do I access your example? And a question was brought up earlier about, is it possible to open the microphone so we can speak to you directly?
Yes, you can. Does anybody want to speak directly?
Best thing they can do is just type in yes, and their name will come up, and I'll unmute them so they can talk to you. But that's a question from Bruce Spencer. How do I access your example?
Okay. How to access the example is, let me go back to our website. So now you can see our website. Go into the Social Security calculator, and then you say, here is, see this sample, married couple. You notice I've clicked on that link one time before. So you click that, and there it is. It has my name and so forth. Obviously, you would want your name on there. And the reason I used one to workers because that's who the Social Security Administration uses as their example, and I married her to a guy named Fred. So there is the example right there. And it doesn't hurt to have one of these things on your phone where you can show something like this to somebody and just say, here's an. You can actually just go to our website if you got a smartphone and just click that link, and you can just show it right there to somebody. Just click that married couple right there, and show it to somebody, and say, would you like to see one of these for yourself? And I've had very few people, when I've asked that question, turn me down on that. Again, the primary purpose of Social Security is as a door opener, to start asking them the questions. Let's talk about your longevity. What's your life expectancy? How long do you expect to live? How long did your parents live? You know, those questions. And then what's your risk tolerance? Did you know that people, when they are young, they take more risk, they grow. The stock market is now in its big bull. We were hitting records, but there's also contractions. Are you at the point where you think some of your money should be safe and you want to take some money off the table? People in Vegas, they say, you know, if they're playing blackjack, they have a big run and they've got all this money. Well, they take half of that money and they put it in their pocket. And that money is off the table. They're not going to lose that money. It is off the table. Do you have any money in your retirement plan that you want to take off the table, that you want guaranteed that's going to stay and be safe and be around as long as you are? So Social Security helps you lead yourself into those kinds of questions. And it's a lot easier to start with Social Security and get into those questions than it is if you're talking about the ball game or sports or something like that. Okay, the cost to order this is in the upper right-hand corner. There's an order button, and you can click the little order button, and you can see the Social Security calculator is only $100. You just click Buy Now, and then you got to prove that you're not a robot, and then it'll take your credit card. You notice we have Authorize.net. We have that. It's one of the larger credit card authorization people. We've trusted them, used them. We've never had a problem getting hacked. You'll notice that we have a secure server. You'll see the green lock up there that says, yes, you're on a secure server, so that when you do enter that information, you don't need to worry about that. So it's $100 a year. I recommend that you, if you do order that way, call Mike and say, can you put this on automatic renewal so it doesn't expire? The worst thing that can happen is you get a hot prospect at 7 o'clock at night, and then you find out your software has expired. You don't want that to happen to you. Okay, looks like we don't have any more questions, or nobody wants to ask a question directly. Well, thank you all for coming. toll-free number. You probably have that. It's in all of our emails. But it's down at the bottom of every one of our web pages, the 877-510-4702. You'll press 1, and it'll send you right directly to Mike. And talk to Mike McGovern. You can also talk to me. I'm on the phone quite a bit, but I certainly can call you back if you want to talk to me. If you want to do email, do this tech.support@ImagiSOFT.com. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.